So this message is for Trump. I voted for you, right? I thought that you said that you was gonna make America great again, right? But why did I just see a video of a woman in a grocery store getting chocolate chips, just buying chocolate chips to make chocolate chip cookies, and the chocolate chips went from, they're like $10 right now, and some of them were almost $17. It's unaffordable for groceries right now. There's no jobs in America. Okay? You said that getting illegals out, we will have more jobs. There's no jobs. What happened to America being great again? Because America is literally a nightmare right now. Like literally a nightmare for everyone. Americans are unhappy. We're slaving and working damn near 50 hours a week if you have a job, just for the government to take everything from them. You tax us on everything. People's paychecks are going to high-ass rents that people can barely afford. They're not even home. Sorry, guys, I have to see where I'm looking because it's dark. Hold on. They're not even home to even spend time in their $2,000 apartment because they're too busy at work trying to pay their rent, their bills, and they're getting taxed on everything. What the fuck is going on in America? Because America is far, far from great again. And then on top of all of this, you're having a meeting with Mark Zuckerberg, can't stand him, and Bill Gates, who wants to put chips in everybody. Like, what the hell is going on? What is going on? Israel's literally owns the United States at this point. You do anything that Israel tells you, and they're literally starving people to death and killing them. The Epstein files, I don't even want to get started on that. I don't even want to get started on that because you guys know that there is a list, and on top of that, there's a lot of politicians involved and a lot of high people involved that it'll destroy them. So I apologize, my phone died, but please tell me, sorry, I was eating. How is America great again? How? Americans are suffering right now. There's something bigger going on. We just don't really know. We can't touch it. We just don't know exactly what it is. But I feel like we're just going to get screwed and fucked at this point. And that's really sad. It's really sad, Trump. You got to really, really prove yourself at this point, because there's no faith. There's no faith in America at this point. America is plummeting. We can't afford food. We can't afford these bills that, you know, you have to pay for everything. If you don't pay on time, there's a late fee. You got people overdrafting, literally like emptying out their accounts, using their credit cards to pay for everything because everything is so expensive. How is America great again? At this point, it's pointless to vote for anybody. It's pointless because you're all on the same side. You're all on the same side at this point. What are you going to do to change what is going on for Americans right now? What are you going to do to change this? Because we're literally in like some kind of silent recession or some shit right now. Like, you know, toilet tissue and napkins are like damn near $20. You got to pay $20 to wipe your ass. You got to pay freaking damn near $10 for deodorant. Food. Do you really want me to get started on food? Because the fact that the lady was trying to get chocolate chips and they were $10 and some of them were 17. I don't even know, like, what the hell is this? The tariffs? Like, what is it? What is it? What is it at this point? America is far from great again. That's all I have to say. This is sad. This is sad as hell.
Y'all, MAGA is cracking. And I think it's because people are bullying them back. They're being told you can't celebrate Cinco de Mayo, not even a margarita. You cannot go to Mexico. You are uninvited permanently. They're being told that their makeup is ugly in every video because it's like they're trying to complain for what they voted for. You lost your job. Oh no, who'd you vote for? You're losing your business. Thoughts and tariffs. Your kid got measles. Oh no, so sad. Bet you're sure trusting them doctors at the hospital now. Oh, your 401k's down. Sorry. Stop eating avocado toast. Oh, you got E. coli. I hope you bought enough toilet paper. Can't afford food and groceries anymore. Well, I guess you're gonna have to go hungry. Oh, the bank ripped you off. Stuff it. You're losing your health care? Oh no, it's okay. You don't believe in doctors anyway. Your house got destroyed in a tornado or a hurricane because of the climate crisis, and now you can't claim FEMA? Oh no. Maybe you should call your senator. Your friends no longer like you or invite you places. I guess you're just gonna have to find new friends. You can't get a student loan because FAFSA is down. I guess you're gonna just have to skip college. Your coworker got disappeared by ICE. I guess they were real people after all, and not all criminals. You can't pay the mortgage on your Airbnb because there's no tourism now. Oh, that's just so sad. Your kids don't talk to you anymore because you voted against their interest. Boundaries hurt, I guess. You didn't get your Christmas bonus because the company had to stock up ahead of tariffs. Guys, maybe you should have thought about these things 6 months ago when the man told you exactly what he was going to do. What he was running on was tariffs and hatred. Think an apology is going to fix anything at this point? No. You can take down your MAGA flag. You can tell people you regret your vote because somehow you're personally affected now. The reality is we know as soon as he's gone, because he will be gone in the next several months because he's got late stage dementia. It's so obviously painfully clear. You're going to vote for the next dumb liar to take his place. So we don't want to hear you complaining. Thoughts and tariffs to you.
The cost of living in this country is currently, it's not going to be, it is currently unsustainable. And there are people that they know this, but then they'll still look at somebody else that's struggling and then tell them they're not doing good enough. I want you to imagine somebody that makes $75,000 a year. That's a pretty high up wage in terms of like top earners in this country, $75,000 a year. And we're going to go through some things here. This is a person with no debt outside of a car. And please don't hit me with the, you can go buy a car for, shut up, you can't, shut up, stop saying ridiculous things. An entry-level decent car is $30,000. So this person who puts $200 a month into insurance and they pay 5% into their 401k because shut up, people should be able to put money into their retirement. Because if you're not doing it now, you're never going to get to start doing it later. So after those two things come out of their paycheck, and their taxes are paid, they bring home $53,850 a year from a $75,000 paycheck. Average rent in my state for a one-bedroom apartment, because an adult should be able to live by themselves, $1,700. That car payment at 6% for an entry-level, very reasonable sedan, nothing fancy, that car payment's $579 a month. Car insurance, $240 or so a month for a lot of vehicles in this day and age. You're a young person, you've got a nice job, but the insurance companies still want to screw you over. Food. You only cook at home. You never, ever go out. You only cook at home and you only eat decent quality food because a human being should be allowed to eat decent quality food. You pay $879 a month for that. You spend $250 a month in gas. You wear and tear on your car $100 a month. $80 for your phone, $80 for your internet, $175 a month for your electricity, $70 for your water, $20 for your cash. You make $75,000 a year, and outside of a car payment, you have zero debt. Do you know how much money you have left over annually at a $75,000 wage? You do nothing. You don't own a Netflix. You don't go out on a date. You don't pay to go to a park. You don't go watch a movie. You do nothing. If you can't find it on the internet for free, you don't get to do it. If you can't cook it at home for your $800, you don't get to do it. You have $3,700 left over annually. That's like $320 a month. And there's going to be, well, that's $300. Shut up. Shut your stupid, contrarian, edgelord mouth. That's not a doctor bill, because God knows just because we have insurance doesn't mean that we don't still pay far out the ass when we go to the doctors. People like to be entertained. They want to date. They want to. There's those of you out there that will tell somebody living like this on $75,000 a year before taxes that they are not doing what they're supposed to do, that they should get a second job, that they should get a side hustle, that they should get a better job. And the fact that you would look at somebody with no debt other than a car and say something like this to them means objectively you're a moron and you live in a fantasy world. This is unsustainable.
Today's the day. I can no longer consider myself MAGA. Praying for Donald Trump, wish him the best, not voting Democrat. And I know everyone's going to be like, oh, like you're a traitor. Come up with some sort of nickname. They're going to cancel me, unfollow me. I don't care. What I care about is following Jesus and following the convictions that God has given me. And for Donald Trump to endorse Lindsey Graham and to have a lack of accountability in the corrupt Democrat Party, no arrest whatsoever, and the whole Jeff Epstein thing and the war, the airstrikes from Iran a year ago, the current war, although it's not a war now, stealing the oil from Venezuela, Cuba next. And it's like, dude, it's like all of this stuff. It's just like, dude, this is not even what I stand for. And that's okay. There's going to be a Republican come around that I agree with more than Donald Trump. But like today and the past several months, it has slowly gone down a road that I'm not willing to go. And moving forward, I'm just going to report the news from a unbiased opinion. I'm going to criticize Donald Trump when he does wrong. I'm going to applaud him when he does right. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the Democrats. And I love Jesus. I love America. I want America to be great. And that's why I voted for Donald Trump. But unfortunately, the direction, if it continues to go down where they're going, it's not going to be great.
I got a letter recently that my property taxes are going to go up $600 a year from now on. I got a letter that my homeowner's insurance is going up $60 a month. My propane company sent me a letter that my propane is going to double this year. They just came and filled up my tank. It was $1,000. That's crazy. Also, as a entrepreneur and business owner, I get my health insurance through the marketplace. So you have the Affordable Care Act. I pay $45 a month. They just informed me that if this bill passes and I lose my tax credit, I'm going to go from $45 a month to $660 a month for health insurance. I need to buy a new car and I can't because the cars have gotten more expensive and the interest rates have gotten so much more expensive. I can't find a reliable car that has the same monthly payment of $450 a month that I've been paying now for a new car. Not necessarily new, but new to me. Groceries are insane. And it feels like every day I get a new email from another subscription that I have, whether it's Netflix, my website subscription, everything's increasing in price. And I sit pretty much every day stressed about money. And yet I know that there are so many people in this country that are way worse off than me. And they're not making it, y'all. They're not making it. What hurts me the most is that there are so many women, especially, that just cannot afford to leave abusive homes and they have to stay in it because of this economy. So are we great again, America? Like, is this what you voted for? Meanwhile, they all sit there in DC, not feeling any of these pressures, not doing anything about it, not giving a shit about the American people. I have been extremely poor and I have been extremely wealthy. And I know from firsthand experience that the wealthy people don't notice it. And most people are pretty self-absorbed and aren't thinking about other people anyway. So we got to talk about this more. We got to raise hell. We have to let DC know that this is not acceptable. Regardless of your party, we have got to help each other.
Some of y'all ain't never went to motherfucking school and it shows. And some of y'all damn sure ain't never took a motherfucking math class. So let's run some numbers. There's a lady on here that says she has a family of 14. She gets $2,000 in food stamps. Let's do some simple fucking math, okay? $2,000 divided by 14 people equals $142 a month for each person. Divide that by 30 days in a month. That is $4.73 a person. That lady is a fucking miracle worker. She's not getting over on the system. Then I said, Wow, you're working miracles at $4.73 a person because I spend $800 to $1,000 a month on groceries. And then somebody comments, $800 to $1,000 for two people. Let's do some motherfucking math here, people. $200 divided by 7 days a week is $28.57. $28.57 divided by two people is $14.28. I'm a motherfucking miracle worker too. So when I tell y'all that it costs $200 a week and that's just dinners and eggs for breakfast, that's what it costs. That's what it costs. Where the fuck you know that you can go and feed somebody for a day for $14.28? My God, do some fucking math. Oh. Thanks for letting me share. Y'all just pissed me off. Y'all just pissed me off. Like, y'all don't know what the fuck shit costs. No, y'all just don't have a motherfucking budget. Ain't never budgeted a day in your motherfucking life. You ain't never had to make miracle fucking work. I don't know. Or you just have no concept of dollars and cents. All right, I'm done. God damn. Simple arithmetic.
So I moved from California to Florida last year. And in Florida, your car registration is due the month of your birthday. So I just got my car registration in the mail, expecting to cringe as I opened it. For backstory, in California, I was paying like $700 and something a year for my car registration. In Florida, my registration is $47.05 for 1 year. For the same price of vehicle. I do have a different vehicle now, but it is the same price of vehicle that I had in California. So, love you, Southern California, but this is why we left.
The cost of living is so bad in America that one job isn't enough, two incomes isn't enough, whether you're married or you have a partner. One job is not enough. Two incomes is not enough to even cover the basics. Keep it a bean, keep it a buck. The cost of living is so bad in America that we are now hustling for our basic necessities. We are hustling for our rent. We are hustling for our car note. We are hustling for groceries. Now we're hustling for the rising gas prices. Now we are hustling for our basic necessities. Do y'all remember when back in the day, however old you is, all you had to do was hustle for your vacation? You know, you was gonna hustle for some clothes, some jewelry that you wanted. Yeah, baby, them days are gone. We are hustling for the basic necessities, and it's sad. The cost of living is so bad in America that now most of us want to leave America to find better living outcomes, to have a better life experience. Hello, Thailand. Hello, Bali. Hello, China. Because, baby, what? Their cost of living is what out there? Hey, the American dollar stretches a lot further in those countries. Do your research. The cost of living is so bad in America. Now you have to literally choose which bills are important to pay first. We are always going to want to pay our rent first because we got to keep the roof over our head. But really, they're all important. You got to keep lights inside the damn house, right? You got to keep the water running, right? You got to pay for those things to have a functioning household. But now you got to decide which one's more important, the car note or the rent. It's always going to be rent, obviously, but they're all important. And having to decide which one is more important when they're all important is sad. Now, this one might be controversial, but the cost of living is so bad, and this is for the people who wouldn't take advantage of the system, but some of us, or pretty much all of us, need to be on food stamps because the rising food prices, yeah, we can't afford that shit at regular price. We can't, even with the damn coupons. Like, the food rising costs is getting out of control. Like, yeah, some of us, maybe all of us, need to be on food stamps. This is for the ones that wouldn't take advantage of the system. The cost of living is so bad in America, and this might not just be an American thing, but most of us just want to be content creators and make great money off of our content. Yeah, we rather do that because fuck a 9 to 5 at this point. Fuck a 8 to 5 at this point. Whenever you start 6 to 5, fuck Fuck those type of jobs. We rather become content creators, make stress-free money like that, than be in somebody's office or be in somebody's warehouse or be outside in the environment. We really rather just do that. And shout out to y'all who are really doing this content stuff, because it's not easy. Tell me what y'all think. Like and follow for more, y'all.
Hi guys, I'm really stressed today. I just went to the grocery store, bought 10 items, and it was $80 freaking already. I literally have $10 left on my account. The fuck? So a little backstory. I got laid off from my job a month ago. And I've been applying for jobs months before I got laid off. Sent out hundreds of resumes already. Applied to hundreds of jobs on the internet, remote and on-site. Tailored my resume to every position that I applied using ChatGPT. Went to only a few interviews. And still nothing. Like, what the fuck is going on with America right now? Like, it's so freaking hard to live here. Like, I'm gonna stay positive. I'm gonna keep applying for jobs. I'm gonna keep showing up. But man, my bills are not going to wait.
So, I don't normally ever come on here and post anything except of my dog because he's absolutely gorgeous. But I am extremely frustrated being a full-time employed person living in Florida and not being able to afford to live. I have spent my whole fucking day off trying to find a, more affordable place to live because I can't afford fucking $1,300 a month in rent and then fucking a $650 car note and then $300 in fucking insurance and then you got utilities and it's just it's either I eat or I pay my bills, and then even then it's like, okay, well, which bill's gonna be fucking late this month? And I'm so fucking sick of it. Like, all these fucking apartment complexes and realtors and even private renters, fuck you. Fuck you so fucking hard. And I mean that with everything in me. Fuck you. I, nor anybody else, should be working 60 plus hours a fucking week and not be able to fucking live. I'm about to crash the fuck out. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me losing my fucking mind. I don't know. But I'm about to lose my shit. Because I just can't take.
My God, I know gas and everything went up and food and everything, but my God, Publix, 4 limes for $3? Like, 4 of these for $3? I don't want it.
$10 freaking on a bag of grapes. $10. I know you're thinking, like, just don't buy the grapes, which I could not buy the grapes, but it's like the one fruit my kids will eat. $10 on freaking grapes.
Y'all, look at these prices to these teas. Almost $6 for barely any herbs that are in these tea bags. Like, these are like 4 something. They went up a whole $1. Like, be so for real. Yogi is still under $5, but still, this is ridiculous for some tea.
I'm not even buying fancy food anymore. Like, I'm buying normal people food. Eggs, chicken, fruit. Oh my gosh. And somehow it still feels like I'm being financially irresponsible.
Groceries are absolutely killing me in our household budget. I just went to pick up a few things. This chicken, it's not even that much chicken. Avocado was $2.97. Now this is a really big ass avocado. I'll give it that, but like 1 avocado. Some peppers, tomatoes. Now these are really cute. Look how cute they are. Do you see how cute? $6.99. Some turkey, because that's like all my daughter will eat. $8.67. What the hell? Anything.
I walked into the grocery store and somehow managed to walk out spending $87. For what? I bought eggs, meat, coffee creamer, and some fruit, like basic stuff. Yeah, Kroger. Basic normal food is like luxury right now. I don't understand it. Worst part of it all is I feel like I leave and I bought nothing. Swear every time I check out, I just stand in silence, like processing the damage.
I think a signal of the state of the economy is the level of guilt and shame and just financial incompetence you feel when all you really just did was spend money on food. Peace.
It's actually wild to me that billionaires can make more money in one day than most people in Michigan will see in their entire lifetime. And we're all just supposed to act normal about that. Most of my friends here are living paycheck to paycheck, putting groceries on credit cards, delaying medical care, not getting medical care at all, and hoping and praying their car doesn't make a weird noise. Because in Michigan, you need that car to get to work. And then you also need gas, insurance, repairs. All that eats up half the paycheck you were driving there to earn. I don't know how anyone looks at this and says the system is working. It's working beautifully for the billionaires, just not for us.
So let's talk about food inflation. Now, when the war started, I told you guys it would probably take 3 or 4 months. We would start seeing food inflation rise in the United States, and it's going to get pretty significantly worse as this goes on. But we started seeing it in April, the first signs of it, as food inflation in April was 3.2% year over year. But then this report came out. U.S. producer prices post biggest gain in 4 years in April, 6%. Important to note that this current food inflation we're experiencing is mostly fuel, diesel price driven. Where it's really going to take off is when fuel prices are high and we start seeing the impacts of fertilizer shortages and expensive fertilizer. Because that's when food gets expensive regardless of fuel prices. When those two things combine, you start seeing food inflation like we saw in 2022, which reached 11%. Could we see that again? I mean, it's absolutely possible. I don't know that we will. The longer this goes on, the more likely it will happen. Thanks.
Does anybody else just get pissed off?
What I'm about to say is probably going to... I need to have a vent session for a second about the state of affairs in this country. So I have 2 adult children. One is 18 going on 19 and the other one is 21. My 18-year-old is working currently as an HVAC apprentice and working on getting certified, but he's making $16 an hour, which I live in a small to mid-sized Missouri town, so that's pretty typical around here. Wages are, low compared to a lot of places, but so is the cost of living. But he would also not like to be living at home with mom forever. He's more of like an independent, autonomous person. So apartment living is not for him at all. He wants a place where he can have his truck and his dirt bikes and be able to work on motors and have the freedom to do what he wants with the place and also be able to have all of his stuff. And at this point, honestly, renting a house would cost more than a mortgage payment anyway. But he's been looking for houses and just trying to figure out what he can afford and what he can do. And he found this place that was only $125,000, which is dirt cheap around here. That just doesn't exist anymore, but it had no basement. It was on a slab foundation, I think, and probably needed some work, which he is naturally talented at that stuff. He works in HVAC. He's very mechanically inclined. He can do this stuff. So he's not afraid of a fixer-upper. Found out that the main reason it was priced so cheap is because it was in a flood zone. So it was a no anyway. But keep in mind, $125,000 house in this economy. And when we looked up to see if he did a 5% down payment on this thing with, your insurance and PMI and taxes and everything, his payment would still be $1,100 a month for a cheap piece of crap house. And just the look of absolute dread on his face when he realized how completely unaffordable and unattainable it is for him to be able to buy a house and live on his own. Now, my oldest son just turned 21. He's been waiting to turn 21 because he wants to get into the cannabis industry. And it's just like the alcohol industry, where if you want to be a brewer or a bartender, you have to be 21 in order to do it. So this past week, Thursday, he interviewed for a job with a grower. And just a couple of days ago, he was offered the position and officially accepted it. And in that time, less than a week, we decided to start a war with Iran. And so when he interviewed for the job, gas prices were around $2.50 a gallon where I'm at, and now they are already at $3 a gallon and climbing. So just in the time between when he interviewed for this job and when he accepted this job, gas prices have gone up 50 cents a gallon, and they're not done climbing yet. And this is an issue because this job, there's a lot of dispensaries here in town where if he had, ended up there, he'd probably be a little bit better off. But this was the job opening that was available at the time for him to get into the industry. And it is a farm, which is 30 miles up the interstate from where we live. So now he is going to be driving one way to work 30 miles at a time when gas prices are going through the roof, because we decided it was a good idea to start a completely unwarranted, unjustified, and unnecessary war with Iran. And I'm now sitting here thinking about my own situation, where my own currently hourly wage is, and considering if I was their age, if I was just starting out. So thinking about buying the same house that I live in right now at its current value, at current interest rates, with the same % down payment that I paid for this house back in 2017. And I realized that my payment would be double what it currently is. And I, as a 40-year-old woman who has been working for 24 years of my life, could not afford this place on my own. Like at 40 years old, I would need a roommate in order to live in this very modest, like 1,300 square foot, 1968 ranch style home. Like it's not a fancy house by any stretch. It's what most people would consider to be essentially a starter home by today's standards. And I could not afford it on my own on my current wages. So my question is, how the hell are we expecting these young kids to do it? Like for someone to start out, even in my area, in like rural Missouri, they would have to make $30 an hour in order to be earning a living wage, in order to live on their own and support themselves without the help of a spouse or a roommate, just for a single person to live and make it on their own, to be able to afford a vehicle payment, vehicle insurance, a mortgage or rent payment, and all of the utilities and groceries and cell phone bills and stuff that go along with just living your life. That's no fun stuff. It's just to live. They would need to make $30 an hour. Meanwhile, we have a government that is more interested in starting wars and harassing other countries and harassing immigrants that are living in this country than they are with their own people, than they are with helping the working class in any way, shape, or form with any kind of meaningful legislation or reform. We have a do-nothing Congress that is sitting on their hands and doing absolutely nothing to help any of the working class people. I'm mad about it for myself, but I'm even more mad about it for my children. Something needs to change. Something's got to give. And frankly, at the midterms, it would be great if the Democrats are able to take over, because at least they'll do something to stop the nonsense that is happening in the executive branch that is going on unchecked. But are they going to do anything to actually help the working class people? At the end of the day, even the Democrats are doing the absolute bare minimum to be able to claim that they are for the working class, because they, right along with the Republicans, are taking money from wealthy campaign donors, and any policy, any legislation that they pass ultimately is going to help them and not us. So where does this end? How far does this go before we, the people, cannot afford to live no matter what age we are?
People are charging $1,000 a month to rent rooms in their home. $1,000 a month to rent a room. Bro, what the fuck we gonna do? The cost of living has gotten out of hand, and y'all buy a house, man. Everybody that I know that owns a house tells me don't buy no fucking house. They hate that shit. Between property taxes going the fuck up, insurance going the fuck up, niggas having to fix roofs. Is that what it is? Having to fix their roof and shit. Everybody I know that got a goddamn house tell me don't buy no goddamn house. They say, at least you call a maintenance man. But dead ass, what the fuck we gonna do about the rising cost of living? Because what you mean you charging people $1,000? You got 3 rooms in your house, you're charging them $1,000 for somebody to come live there. This shit is sad. Like, my son gonna be an adult in the next couple of years. He's gonna graduate from high school and be an adult. And this is the world he has to live in? The fuck? I guess I need shit is weird.
At least let them engage in some stock trading so that they can continue to take care of their family. Well, look, the salary of Congress has been frozen since 2009. When you adjust for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 31% less than they made in that year. It goes down every year. And over time, if you stay on this trajectory, you're going to have less qualified people who are willing to make the extreme sacrifice to run for Congress. I mean, it's just people just make a reasonable decision as a family on whether or not they can come and move to Washington, have a residence here, a residence at home, and do all the things that are required. So the counter argument is, and I have some sympathy. Look, at least let them like engage in some stock trading so that they can continue to take care of their family.
I want you guys to imagine someone who makes over $170,000 a year and them still being so far disconnected from how the average American actually survives in the United States of America. Honestly, let me know your thoughts over in the comments, because Mike Johnson indicated that those Congress members need to have some sort of like trading going on and everything just to be able to survive, because them making over $170,000 a year is just not enough money for them to maintain a living and everything, when the average American ends up making less than $60,000 a year. Truly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because it brings up when Donald Trump ended up indicating that he does not care about America's financial situation or Americans' financial situation right now. And that is why he is not rushing towards a deal with Iran and everything to try to help boost the economy back to just some sort of normalcy and everything when it comes down to the cost of living. Food prices are too high, gas is too high, rent is too high, electricity is too high, so on and so forth. So once more, you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments.
The internet is buzzing right now after more people started admitting something many Black Americans have been saying for years. Division and constant racial tension hasn't just hurting people socially, they are hurting people economically too. And apparently, some white Americans are just now realizing how expensive hate and division can actually become. Now, social media exploded after fire discussion pointing out how businesses lose customers, communities lose opportunities, and entire economy slow down when people refuse to work together or support diverse communities. One creator said, imagine rejecting talented people, businesses, and ideas simply because of race, then wondering why your tone stopped growing. That line hits hard online. Black Americans reacting to the trend had mixed feelings though. Some people said they were glad, others are finally understanding how racism hurts everybody in the long run. Not just the people targeted directly, but others were frustrated saying so people only care once it starts affecting their pockets. And honestly, that comment section became a war zone immediately. Now, people online are discussing everything from boycott to labor shortage to businesses losing younger, diverse consumer because of outdated attitude. One viral comment someone it up perfectly. It is expensive, corporation makes money. And that simple sentence sparked a huge debate because many younger people online believe the future economy will depend heavily on diversity, collaboration, and cultural understanding, not division. At the end of the day, this conversation became bigger than politics or race. It turns into discussion about survival opportunity and whether prejudice is actually holding entire communities back financially. But what do you all think though? Do you believe racism and division are hurting economic worldwide, or do you think people online are exaggerating the issue? Drop your thought below because this conversation is getting very heated online right now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next video.